Wacha nianze kusema ya kwamba niko na furaha nyingi sana siku ya leo kuwa pamoja nanyi, na niwashukuru nyote ambao mmeweza kufika hapa. Nishukuru pia wale ambao hawakuweza kufika, lakini najua tuko pamoja na wao katika runinga na mambo mengine na social media. Na niseme naungana na vile ndugu yetu Secretary General amesema. Leo ni siku ya furaha. Leo ni siku ya furaha kwangu na kwa jamii yote. Kwa muda mrefu tumezungushwa na kusumbuliwa. Wachache wamelipwa, wengine wamejiita wakuu, lakini hakuna mkuu kushinda Mwenyezi Mungu, na tumejiona tukiwa hapa. Kwa hivyo tumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu. Nataka kama MC ameniingilia kidogo, wacha nisome hii yangu kidogo, kwa sababu sitaki kuwa misquoted or misrepresented. Nataka niseme yale ambaye yako katika roho yangu, na ndio tuweze tujipange na tujue kutoka hapa kwenda mbele ni barabara gani ambaye tutaelekea. Si ni hivyo? So therefore, party members, here at this very same venue and held our last National Delegates Conference. This is through no fault of my own, but as a direct result of devious machinations by those who wanted to falsely and forcefully take over this party. As we meet today, I wish to take this very early opportunity to thank all those loyal party members, the many lawyers and Kenyans of goodwill who have ensured that once again we are able to meet and restart our journey forward again. Asanteni sana. Politics, as we have seen, is about many things. But one thing that cannot be overridden is a party like we are here today, or by the citizens that from today we shall see the end of machinations and the start of a democratic process. Kusema watumwe na watu wengine, kwa sababu tunajua hata hawa ni kutumwa, walikuwa wametumwa. Wananchi ya kutueleza mwelekeo wa chama mgani, sio watu wachache pahali kidogo huko. So 3 years ago at the end but to myself members of my family, and members of my administration. But despite that, I stood at this same venue, ready to begin a process that should have been normal in any mature democracy. A process of rejuvenating our party, and it with new leadership, a new crop of leaders inspired by a new generation who would craft country. After having handed over the reins of state to a new administration in a peaceful and orderly manner, as you all witnessed, I expected the same for our party. Unfortunately, this was not to be for reasons as explained. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been in active politics for the greater part of my life, 40 years plus. I have seen it's good, I have seen it's bad, and even it's ugly. But at every juncture, I always do my best in the spirit of service to my party, but most importantly, service to this country that I love. I have both lost elections and won elections, taking each in my stride, learning that in politics you can never be and vision. Wale wanataka kuendelea na matusi, hiyo ni shauri yao. Sisi hatuna chuki na mtu, tunapenda nchi yetu. I have had my fair share of successes as well as challenges. But the truth of the matter is that none of this would have been possible if I myself take up various leadership positions in our country. As a party, under my administration, under my leadership, and courtesy of the Kenyan electorate, 10 out of our country's 60-odd years of life since independence. Looking back, there are things we can be proud of, and admittedly, there are things that we could also have done better. As a party, we can say with pride that it was our administration that oversaw the implementation of a new constitutional order, and we did country than we found it. We doubled the number of tarred roads, increased electricity connections from 35% of our population that we found.